Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the internal presentation of the ARBURG lecture for the Technology Days 2017 to the subject Turnkey Solutions, Project Management from the Product Idea through to Production. My name is Andreas Armbruster. I work at ARBURG as a project engineer in the Turnkey department, and we are responsible for the planning and realization of automated turnkey solutions around the injection molding machine. I want to show you now the agenda for my presentation. First of all, I want to explain what ARBURG means with turnkey. Then I would like to illustrate by means of particular phases of a typical turnkey project which services ARBURG can offer with regards to technical advice and project management for the complete production cell, and which benefits for you as our customers are involved with that. At the end of my presentation, I would like to summarize the main topics and answer questions from your side. So what does ARBURG mean with the term turnkey? Turnkey cells are automated production cells specified and built for an individual application. ARBURG, as a main contractor, delivers not only the injection molding machine, but takes over responsibility for the complete production cell. We noticed that in the injection molding branch, more and more upstream and downstream processes are transferred to the injection molding machine. And as a main contractor, we are requested to automate all these various processes, such as feeding of insert parts, taking out overmolding parts, and post processes like assembly, quality control, up to the final packing of the parts into boxes or whatever. We at ARBURG understand the turnkey business as a partnership with our customers, with the target to find the most cost-effective solution for the individual application. Therefore, we offer technical advice with regard to the specification of the system and project management as primary contractor for the complete production cell. In this field, we have 20 years experience now, and we can offer these services not only in our headquarters here, but also in many subsidiaries worldwide. What are the challenges in the turnkey business? As already mentioned, more and more processes are transferred to the injection molding machine. And by this, it is clear that expertise is needed from various branches for only one production cell. Turnkey solutions are generally individualized. That means for one individual application specified. And this means that the challenges with regard to setup, commissioning, and after-sales services are very high. Our customers normally are under big cost pressure, and therefore the main target of a turnkey solution is the cost effectiveness. That means the ratio between costs and performance of the cell. Turnkey cells are normally specified for a very high production volume. That means the number of parts that need to be produced over the lifetime. And of course, the cell must produce this high number of parts over the lifetime. Very often, these systems need to be specified and built in a very short period of time. Bearing all these challenges in mind, it is obvious that we need expertise from various branches. It is not enough to master only the machine technology. We need additional know-how, for example, in the process technology, in the automation technology, the control technology, and which gets more and more important under the term Industry 4.0 is the information technology. We at ARBURG understand the turnkey business as a partnership with our customers with the target to find the perfect solution. That means the most cost-effective solution. And when we analyze very successful projects looking back, we find out that the key to success is really the teamwork. We as a main contractor can only be successful if we cooperate very closely with you, our customers. I want to show you now what this precisely can mean, this partnership, by looking at individual phases of a typical turnkey project. The first phase of a turnkey project is the product idea. Here the requirements to a product and the design is defined. Of course, a turnkey project does not always start in this phase. Sometimes the design of the product and the mold is already given and cannot be influenced anymore. But when we talk about new products, it is ideal if we can cooperate already at this early stage of the project very closely. And if the design of the part and the mold can be influenced, always with the target to be able to build a very reliable and cost-effective cell afterwards. In this phase, we at ARBURG offer assistance with regard to the design of the part and the mold. And on the other side, our customers know exactly about the requirements of a product, such as the function, the drawings with tolerances, but maybe they have also experiences from the production of similar parts. I want to show you now, by means of an application example, what this could mean. The application folding step stool was specially developed for exhibitions, and you can experience this application also on our this year's Technology Days. In this first phase of the project, the function and the design of the part was specified. Besides of this, we had also freedom of action with regard to other surrounding conditions. What does this mean, freedom of action? It means that, for example, with regards to the design of the part, these hinges for this folding step stool could be designed ideally to the automated assembly process. Also, the orientation of the single parts in the mold was specified suitable to the assembly process to avoid additional pick and place processes in the automation. And by these considerations, we could reduce the costs for the automation components significantly. By this very simple example, you can see that it is possible to reduce the manufacturing costs of a part significantly if we as main contractor and you as our customers cooperate very closely already at this early stage of the project. At this point, I want to invite you to experience this very interesting application. You will find this cell in Hall 8. You cannot miss it because it is running on our biggest machine, the 1120H. In the next phase of a typical turnkey project, the task is to define the production requirements as precisely as possible. This includes a description of the task, including the performance of the cell, such as cycle time, but also a description of the environment, the production environment in which this new cell needs to be integrated. the better the task is described in this phase, the better it will later fit to the expectations. The ARBURG Turnkey department works in this phase with a detailed checklist to make sure that every aspect is considered and specified. At this stage, we can also pre-select a suitable machine or robot technology. For example, here we discussed the question, is the standard horizontal machine the better solution or the rotary table machine? Is a linear robot the better solution or the 6-axis robot? A fully automated production cell is not always the most cost-effective solution. Dependent on the lot size, the labor costs and the number of part types, it may be more economic to use a semi-automated system. And this decision is also taken in this particular phase. Again, I want to illustrate this by means of an application example. The part lubrication collar is produced in-house and is used for the lubrication of the tie bars on our injection molding machines. And here the task was to automatically take out the parts, assemble a lubrication nipple, feed that lubrication nipple out of bulk material, quality control that assembly process, and pack the final part into already existing boxes, including an automated box changing system. A special challenge here was that this system needs to be designed for 7 different part sizes due to the different sizes of tie bars we have. The result was that we used a multi-lift V lengthwise on top of the machine because of the already existing production environment, the arrangement of the machines in our customer center in this case. And a highlight on this cell is that we use only one gripper with adjustable elements for all 7 part sizes. Again, you are invited to experience this very smart solution in our customer center. In the next phase of a project, the ARBURG team is requested to find the best solution on basis of the requirements. Therefore, we plan different scenarios, including a system layout, a process simulation, and a cycle time analysis. ARBURG works in this phase always in brainstorming teams, which consists of persons from different departments. We find out that we can generate synergy effects and that we can only find the perfect solutions if we look globally. Again, I want to illustrate these points by means of another example. In this case, it is our application silicon watch, which you can also see on our this year's Technologie days. In this case, the first target was to find a cell concept for a 2-component machine with robot system. There are some options to solve that. In this case, the decision was to put the second injection unit for the green silicon material in L position to have on top of the machine free space for the entry of a standard 3-axis robot, our multi-lift V. The first approach regarding automation was that the multi-lift V takes out the parts, but the assembly of the clockwork and the fastening clip is done with a second robot system, a small 6-axis robot. However, a cycle time analysis showed that 2 robot systems were underemployed. And this, of course, is not a cost-effective solution, so the target was given to use only one robot system for all the automation tasks around the machine. To achieve that target, only one robot system, we discussed it again in these brainstorming teams, and we defined several preliminaries to achieve that target. One example is that the orientation of the parts in the mold was specified optimal to the assembly process to avoid additional pick-and-place processes in the automation. The result is that now the Multilift V is responsible for the complete handling of the wristband of the clock, and also he is responsible for the assembly of the clockwork, and only the assembly of the fastening clip is done with a second, very simple pick-and-place handling. Compared to the originally planned 6-axis robot, we could reduce the costs for the automation by approximately 40,000 euros. And this is a result of that brainstorming process. You're invited to look at that very interesting cell, and you will find that application in our customer center. In the next phase, the concept for the solution is presented and evaluated. It is very important that at this stage, all aspects of the manufacturing process is considered before taking a decision. For a detailed economic analysis, the price is of course important, but also the performance of a cell, how it can be operated, and which space is required, so the layout of the cell, only to mention some examples. After the purchase decision, which hopefully turns out positive for ARBURG, we as main contractor have the task to plan and build the complete production cell. This includes the build of the injection molding machine as well as the robot system, but also the selection of project partners and clarification of all interfaces to all automation components. It includes also a detailed time schedule and a risk assessment of the complete production cell. In the next phase, the turnkey cell is set up and commissioned at ARBURG. And this includes that we do the sequence programming for the automation, as well as an optimization of the whole manufacturing process. At this stage, all theoretical considerations from previous phases come to reality. So it will be seen if all these considerations really work. For example, the end-of-arm tooling needs at this point for the first time the injection mold. And it cannot be avoided that in this phase we are faced with so-called teething troubles. More important is that we are able to react quickly and competent to any occurring problems. The turnkey cell is commissioned by one technician from the ARBURG turnkey department, who is responsible for the commissioning of the injection molding machine, as well as for the sequence programming of the automation. If required, he will be supported by specialists, for example, from the software development. Unfortunately, this phase very often takes place under very big time pressure. This is because the delivery date of the cell is already very close, and any preparations for the transfer of the cell to the production site are already in progress. Even more important is that anything that could be prepared for this phase should be done in advance. For example, the clarification of the interfaces between mold and injection molding machine. The injection mold should be provided with all necessary accessories like cables and hoses and so on. You're invited to look at several turnkey cells in Hall 22, and all these cells are exactly in that phase and are prepared for the acceptance test. Unfortunately, we do not have approval to show the part or the application in most cases. In the next phase, the cell is transferred from ARBURG to the production site and is commissioned once again. As it was tested under production conditions in advance and all the processes are optimized, this phase normally goes very quickly. It is handed over to the customer's operators, and this includes, of course, instruction through the technician of the ARBURG Turnkey department, and, if required, additional training over the ARBURG training department. Very important is, at this stage, that responsible operators are designated at the customer site and that enough time is planned for training and instruction. In the next phase, the turnkey solution goes into production and fulfills all requirements if we have done everything right and if the partnership with our customer worked well. To achieve a high availability over the lifetime, ARBURG offers a strong service network all over the world, including proposals regarding predictive maintenance. Turnkey solutions are individual systems specified for an individual application, and they consist components that are specially made. And of course, these components are normally not available as spare parts in the short term. Therefore, it is essential to think about spare parts availability in the risk management. We have, for example, the possibility to specify with our partners a spare parts package for risky wear parts that are not shortly available. Some of our customers decide to invest in a complete second end-of-arm tooling for several thousand euros just in case something happens, because the downtime of the cell over a few hours is more expensive than a complete second end-of-arm tooling. And considerations like these are important to achieve a high availability of the cell over the lifetime. Here again, an overview over the particular phases of a typical turnkey project at ARBURG. Now I would like to conclude my presentation and summarize the main topics. As mentioned, turnkey solutions are individual automated production cells which need to be specified and built normally under big time and cost pressure. And to achieve these challenging targets, the following factors are the key to success. We at ARBURG understand the turnkey business as a partnership with our customers, always with the target to find the most cost-effective solution for the individual application. For a successful project, it is essential to have an open communication and a clear and comprehensive description of the requirements. The better the task is specified, the better the cell will later fit to the expectations. ARBURG considers a turnkey project always holistically and interdisciplinary, and considers always all aspects of the manufacturing process. And by this we can reduce the manufacturing costs of a product in many cases significantly. As a main contractor, ARBURG offers a comprehensive project management with one single contact person. Very fortunately, we notice that many of our customers who work with in this kind of partnership come again, and we are asked to develop a second and a third system together with them. In this way, many turnkey solutions go into operation through the year. I'm at the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.